Can you hear me?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Hello?
So I don't think there should be any particular rules for anything in life. I think you should just, once a person or a child is encouraged, then they just sort of fly, they're just given wings. They just occupy whatever space they want to sort of occupy. So I think that, even in school, I think, people, they label us a lot, right? Like I remember I was very weak in maths. So, people, I mean, my teachers would be like, oh, he's an idiot, he'll never get this. Or, like the way the students, kind of talk to you. So you kind of like, what the hell, like why are people, labeling me as something? So I think that, this whole thing that, I think if you teach somebody with love, like, I was watching the Shakuntala Devi's movie where she's just like, I find mathematics to be so amusing and loving and, so easy to learn it. I don't know why there's so much bias against it. So I think that, even if the teachers just like encourage students and teach them with love, then there's so much that they can do. And I think that, when we're in such a young age, we're supposed to decide what are we going to do for the rest of our lives. Like, when I was in 10th, I was like probably 14 or 15, and we had to decide what do you want to do for undergraduation. And then for undergraduation, you have to do graduation, or, 11th and 12th also, you have to decide your subjects. So I think there's a lot of pressure that we go through during our teenage. And I thought it's important to just, be confident no matter what and still not succumb to those pressures. And I think that, art helped me a lot because it just helped me heal. It just made me feel like all this is okay, just continue doing your art. It is, at that time I didn't know I was going to, become an artist or, study further or anything like that. But, through all this bullying and self-hatred and self-doubt, I just was like, I want to paint because I feel good. So it's a lot like therapy for me.
Wow, Venkat. So I heard that you studied fine arts in your college, right?
Yeah.
In New York. So what? Can you tell me some about your college days? Like what it was happening, like how it was and everything.
Yeah. So I think, like, for me, college was very difficult because, I think in India we're raised with a lot of love and over affection where, we're given everything on a platter. I mean, at least I was like, I never had to do anything on my own. And I think, when you're left out in a world of like, I went to New York for college. So I didn't know how to take a train. I didn't know how to buy milk. Like, I didn't know how to do anything. So I think figuring out everything, and I think college, as you grow older, you just come into your own personality, right? You learn things about others, you learn things about yourself. So I think that whole learning is so much of the learning that you learn in college. So I think it's all intertwined. There's not a separate entity on its own. And I think, there were a lot of students who, were also big bullies in art school as well, even though, you think that people are just liberated souls and they just let you do what you want to do. You can do, but you have to let go of that sort of validation from anybody else. Like, I have heard stories where, people make some art and they present it in class, and the teacher would literally come and trash, literally like tear the sheet and just throw it away. So I think it's not easy to be an artist because while you do something with love, it becomes your baby. You have to sort of put it out there and be like, hey, listen, like, it's out for open criticism. You do what you want. You kind of like, you have to be ready for anything and everything. So that, I had a lot of fears as well, of presenting myself in class and stuff like that. So I think I had to get rid of a lot of fears and conquer them. And I think, like, I just want to give you some examples from, what I went through. I think that, there was one time when I was just putting up a canvas on the wall, I had to nail my artwork, and, I just kept looking back, and there were these students who were laughing at me. And, I remember it, and I was like, I kept looking back and they kept laughing. And when I look back today, I just feel like, why did I give them the right to, sort of laugh at me or put me under any kind of pressure? And I think it's always us who give other people the chance to misbehave with us. So I think, if I have a message to all teenagers today, I just want you guys to know that you don't need anybody's validation, that you should just live the life you want to lead, and no one's opinion matters. So I think that, just live your life. And if anybody has any problem with it, that's theirs, and it's definitely not yours. And, when something is, when you feel something is wrong, then there is definitely something wrong. Always trust your intuition. I think that comes with like art as well and in life as well, you know, like when you're feeling something, there's definitely some strong reason behind that, either if it's good or bad or ugly or whatever that is. And I think that, you know, what is one thing I have learned from art school a lot is that, you know, when I really didn't have any friends in art school, I really didn't have any, you know, my family also wasn't there to support me. And I think I was just putting my head down and I was just working. I literally didn't do anything else. And I think that's a great piece of advice to give to young people, but it's also the truth. That's what I did and worked for me. Like I was very satisfied with my journey from, you know, art school, because I was very happy and proud of the work that I created there, because I didn't let what other people's opinions affect me or my work actually when I look at the work. So yeah, those are some of the experiences from, you know, art school.
So how did you overcome all these stuff and you became you actually became like a artist, right? So how did you overcome all these college days and you?
Yeah. I really don't know, because I think it's more of a progress. I think when you, first of all, I think when when some opportunity comes in your life, I think you have to grab it. And I think opportunities come in different ways. Like sometimes it's a physical opportunity, like, hey, listen, will you come and do this? You know, and then you sort of take it up and be like, yes, I'll do it. Right. And sometimes it comes through pieces of advice from some people. And, you know, when someone tells you like, hey, I think you should work on a particular issue that you're going through or something, you shouldn't just diss it. You shouldn't just be like, yeah, fine, they're all talking like, you know, they don't make sense. Everything that only my experience is true to me. I think I've learned that you can't just be that way. And if you are like that, then you don't grow in life. So I think like, especially if you respect somebody, like, you know, for me, it's like my sisters and my parents. It's like, if they ever tell me something, like, even if I might not agree with them at that time, I always think about what they're saying. So, you know, I think just thinking about these things and being like, how can I help myself? So in a certain way, like I started reading about affirmations, you know, and affirmations and like, you know, the power of words that we use. Like I used to talk down to myself a lot, like I'm horrible at this and I'm stupid and I can't do this. And while, you know, I still have bouts where I still do that, but I'm saying like, I make a conscious effort to not do that anymore. And I think to just dream, you know, like if I say that, you know, like when I was making such big pieces in front of so many people, that everyone used to come and see me work, I used to just be like, you know, my work is amazing. It's awesome. Like I used to just keep saying that all the time. And, you know, when I see the final product, I'm like, I'm so glad I kept saying that, because this is beautiful. You know, like I am very happy with what I did. So I think that also like you have to make effort in whatever effort means to you. Like, because I'm talking about life and art together, because I think for me, it's just one and the same thing. So it's like, you know, when I came back from college, I was like 93 kilos, you know, so I think like, you know, you have to be in a good mental and a physical condition to make good art, you know. And I think that, you know, I came back and I was like, you know, I was facing so much of like, you know, pressure from so many people saying, hey, you become so fat, you know, you're not doing this, you're not doing that, what are you doing with your life? And I was like, you know what, I'm going to do what seems right to me. And I started walking like 10,000 steps every day. And I lost like 16, 17 kilos. And I think that, you know, when you do things your way and you succeed, it gives you a lot of confidence. So I think the key to that would just be to just be yourself and follow your own principles. Don't listen to anybody, because, you know, one shoe doesn't fit all. That's all I'd like to say.
So Venkat, can we see some of your pics, art pics?
Yeah, sure. 1 second. Can you see this clearly?
Yes, Venkat.
Yeah. So this is the opening slide to me and my work. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about, you know, my process and, you know, sort of my inspirations. So I am like an old soul. Like I've always lived in like the 80s or something like that, even when I wasn't born. And I think that, you know, all these pictures, like, you know, old actresses and old vintage black and white pictures in general, I love to look at like, you know, other people's old family photos, and I always take pictures of them because they inspire me so much. So sometimes, when I have, and I think another important thing that I have to mention about my work is that I rarely do use an eraser. So I never really use an eraser, I never really correct my work. It's a one-time go thing. But when I make
Wow.
special or something like that, I make a small sketch in my notebook or a sketchbook as to, okay, this is exactly what I want to do. So I've given a few of those sketches here and there and a little bit of my inspiration. And so this is one of the few things that I did in college. So we had a small studio space where you could really make whatever you wanted to make and present your work. And somehow I got the idea that I wanted to make art on the wall. So I just took a piece of charcoal and I just started, playing with it. And this was the first piece that I made in my studio, which is very close to my heart. And I think an interesting
It's
story.
amazing, Venkat.
Thank you so much. And I think, an interesting story about this is that, so the door was open. Like where I'm standing is where the door is open to the studio space, and the other three walls obviously are together. And, the reason I started painting on this wall was because I'd never wanted anybody to see me painting. I was that scared. And so, I think that, once I made the piece, like I would call in people inside to be like, hey, see my work, see what I'm doing. But I'm saying, like, I think it takes so much for an artist to put themselves out there and just, embrace their own work.
So is this a charcoal painting?
Yeah, this is a charcoal on the wall.
Painting which you showed me.
Yeah. So if you see in the bottom, you can also see all the charcoal that's accumulated at the bottom.
Yes, yeah.
The remains of the charcoal. So I had to spray this as well. And this was my final thesis piece in college, where, for a particular theme that I was working on, I painted 3 walls of my studio space and the floor. So
Wow.
this is all with acrylic and acrylic paint. And so the theme of this is basically, we live with so many sort of taboos in India and the world. Actually, that's what I realized when I went to college, is that, we take the word sex and sexuality so seriously. And we don't really talk about these issues. And, I've also learned that we don't love our bodies. We don't love every part and inch of our bodies. And it's such a problem with our, system. And, when I went back, and this piece was inspired by like the Kama Sutra and like, the Khajuraho temples. And what I learned about the Hindu religion was that, there are 4 principles to the religion. One is dharma, which is your duty. There's artha, which is meaning. There is moksha, which is spirituality and like peace. And there's kama, which is, sex. And I feel like, there's nothing wrong with sex. There is nothing wrong with our bodies, and we should remove the shame. So that's why I actually made this piece. So you can see a lot of body parts here and there. And I just, I made it into a surrealistic work where you really can't tell exactly what it is, but it's also trying to be like, once you enter the room and look at the piece in its entirety, you sort of, all these images are just roaming in your head and you're questioning what they actually mean. And so by the end of it, like by the end of the 6 months that I created this piece, I had to wash it out as well, which you can see in the picture on the right. And that was a whole other experience because, when I was making the piece, people were like, I was learning a little bit about Buddhism as well, where, they say that, life is full of impermanence. Nothing, we come alone, we go alone. So all the art and everything that we make is also very temporary. And so we have to live in the moment. So, this is a whole other sort of exhilarating experience where I just, put myself out there and took it back with me as I came back to India.
Even the colors are awesome, the colors you choose and everything.
Yeah, thank you so much. So this was another piece that I made. This is actually in my bedroom and this is with charcoal. So I took like 4 months to make this piece, and it's very big. As you can see, like that's the size of the door. So there were times when, I was standing up and painting and drawing. There were times when I was sleeping on the floor and sitting on the floor and sketching it out. There were times when I was standing on a ladder. So this was the whole very, very body sort of piece where, it was such a physical experience of making an artwork, which was so big and so, I think when somebody enters the room, it sort of like envelops the person into it. It overwhelms. It's a very overwhelming experience for the person who is sort of viewing the piece.
So Venkat, I observed that all your paintings are women, right? So what is the reason behind it?
So, this is a question I have been asked all my life. And, I really, when I think about it now as I grow older, I feel like, when I was growing up, I was surrounded by a lot of strong women, like a lot of women and a lot of strong women where, there was my mom, there was my aunt, there was my cousins, all my cousins, like, I just have one cousin brother, and like I have like a ton of cousin sisters, and I have two sisters in my own house and my mom. So I think that, they were such a great influence on my life. And I think, when I saw life through their lens and, their sort of struggles and the way they fought their own problems, and they overcame them in such beautiful and creative ways, I think it just made me understand women in such a different angle. And, now that I'm such a staunch feminist in my, as an individual, that those are the beliefs that I stand for. Obviously, like, I think everyone should be a feminist. Everyone should, advocate like equality. And I feel like, I try to make sure that, my pieces evoke feminism and evoke strong women in whatever emotion they're going through. So I think that's why there's so many women in my work.
Amazing, Venkat. Wow.
Obviously, like, and I think each person that we meet in our lives, that, we meet so many people in our life, and I think we learn something different from each person. We learn a new experience. And I think a lot of people have told me about this work that, each face has a different emotion, evokes a different feeling. So I think that, that's something that I was thinking about while making this piece. So this was a piece I made in 2016, and it was for a art festival with actually a lot of very established artists from Hyderabad and also India, actually. So there was Vaikuntham, there was Lakshman Ile, there were a lot of famous artists at this, and I got the privilege to actually take part in it as an emerging artist. So this was the piece that I made. It was actually a live painting where we all had to paint together, and people would come and visit us. And I made this painting in about 2 days. So, and I obviously had some references for the picture, and I just, turned on my earphones. I just looked at the painting. I was very nervous because I was like, there's so many people here. Like, how do I where do I stand? Like, am I good enough? Had all those kind of questions. And I was very happy to know that, eventually they priced my painting at 60,000 rupees, and it was sold for charity. And that made me very, very happy. And I guess it validated me as an artist, as a person who can sell an artwork. And also that, my work is beautiful, which I obviously, learned after somebody had bought that. Because I think when you buy something, you want to put it somewhere in your house. And I think that's a beautiful thing. Like, it's an honor for me to have someone put my work in their house.
So is this your first live painting?
So actually, this is not my first live painting. I remember there was another charity event at school when I was in the 11th grade. We had an annual day function, and they gave us a piece of canvas and they gave us paints, and they were like, just paint, have a good time. And all the money that we raised from the charity, the selling of these paintings will be given to charity. So I actually painted something for about, I think it was 2 hours or something like that, the event. And by the end of it, I actually sold my painting, that one as well, for like 13,000, which was at that time, a lot of money. So I was very happy about that as well. But like, I guess even the times when there were people around me, I guess sometimes I just mentally tune off. I stop thinking about what they are doing and I concentrate on my work. So I guess like, again, that's like, a life lesson for me when I, try to put this in other aspects of my life, which is obviously difficult. But I think that, we should always have those horse blinders and just concentrate on the work and concentrate on a particular issue rather than sitting and mingling and thinking about other issues and people and problems at that given time. So these are some other paintings that I made in 2017. And they're just acrylic on canvas and 36 by 48 size, which is quite a big size. So yeah, I think each of them have their own sort of stories. And, I try to put in a little bit of culture through, in each painting, I try to give something new. Like in one, I try to give like a nose ring. In one, I try to make, different emotions or different clothes or different design, and a different vibe to each sort of painting.
Wow, Venkat. So when was your first competition, Venkat? Like, how did it go on?
So I think for me, I was always known as just an artist, and that sort of, I was just labeled as that. So I sort of always thought like, I'm more than an artist, I'm a nice person. I'm a singer. I'm so much more, I used to sort of dislike just being known as an artist, but that was my only identity. So whenever there was an art competition or something, like I was the only one who had to sort of go ahead and be like, hey, I'm going to go for this competition. I'm going to participate. So it was it was very normalized for me that I would participate. And I think like when I was in the 4th grade was when I started doing those competitions, and I really enjoyed them because I would go and, meet other people and, show my work. And sometimes I'd win, which would obviously make me really happy. And because, I don't think at that time I was very good at anything else, like, I don't think I was like, the top 5 students, with the top most grades or something like that. So I think like art really validated me in the sense that I was good at something. But obviously now as I grow older, I actually realize my strengths and try to hone in my power, which is, I think, a difficult thing to do, but I'm trying to do that now, where I'm like, okay, I think each person has different strengths, so I think that we all need to embrace that everybody cannot have equal strengths. So yeah, competitions don't mean anything, but I think like, it's nice to put yourself out there, and, beautiful art and art in general is something that needs to be shared. So these are some of my other paintings, which I've made quite recently, actually.
So even this one is an acrylic painting?
Yeah, both of these are acrylic paintings, and they are really big works. So this is 48 by 60 inches. And yeah, I mean, both these pieces actually I made over the course of at least 6-7 months. So while I was painting constantly and doing quite a bit while I was doing it, it still took a lot of time to just go back into it and be like, listen, I want to do something else, or I like this, I want to do more of that, or there was a lot of to and fro from the sort of piece. So this was a piece that I actually did in my sister's house. So this is a huge wall outside the house, and I did it just in 6 working weeknights. So, I was going to work every day, and I would come back in the night and I would paint for 1 or 2 hours every day. And I made this in 6 days, which is a very big accomplishment for me, because I think that, when I paint, I feel so good. And I was able to finish artwork in that time. So this validated me in many ways. And also sometimes I take it as a challenge to be like, hey, what if I just use 2 colors and try to finish a piece? So for this, I was like, I'm just going to use blue and pink, and let me see how differently I can sort of create this piece. So this is a little bit about this piece. And this is the piece that I made in quarantine, actually. And this also, I was just like, I'm just going to use this one purple color. Let me see how differently I can use it, and see in which ways I can make it sort of a statement, sort of a piece. And this also I made with acrylic paint. And this is actually in the farm. We have a small farmhouse, and that's where I sort of created this on also about 6 days.
Wow.
So these are some of my other works that I've created. So yeah.
They're amazing, Venkat. All your art forms are actually nice.
Thank you so much. So can I see some of your work as well?
Yes, sure. Sorry, 1 second.
Yeah, no problem.
Can you see?
Yeah.
So this is an eagle. This is a pencil shading one, and this is my eagle, which a bird, which was the hardest bird. So it actually took 5 days, like 1 week or something.
Yeah.
And this one is also landscape. It's a forest, and you can see that there are different colors of green and everything. You can see the shading and everything. You can see the strokes and
It's very nice.
and this also landscape.
I think your voice is being a little.
In this one, I wanted to show the, and this one is a poster paint stuff.
It's very nice.
And wait a second. Is it now okay?
Yeah, I think it's better now.
So is my voice okay now?
Yeah, I think it's better now.
Okay. So this one is all this one I did the deer with the clay. So this one I did the deer with the clay, and I
Problem.
gave the shade. I gave the fur effect with the painted, and this one.
I think she got disconnected. So we'll just wait for her to.
Meanwhile, okay.
Sorry for the convenience. My net was low. So can I share my screen again?
Yeah, please do. Yeah.
And this one is a charcoal painting, which I did this
I think we
lockdown.
couldn't hear your explanation for the past two ones.
Okay.
The clay one and the previous one.
So this one also?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
this one is a poster painting. So this
Yeah.
one is a tribal girl. You can see the shadings and stuff. You can see the different layers of the skin and everything. And this one I did the deer with the clay, and I gave the fur effect with the toothpick, and I painted.
Yeah.
And after that, after drying, I painted the deer and the background.
Really
And
beautiful.
this one is a charcoal drawing, and this I did this during this lockdown. It's a monsoon effect.
Very
And
nice.
this one is also a doodling. You can see the doodling behind the Buddha. I did this on directly with a pen. I did not use any pencil or anything. And this one is also a poster painting. And in this painting, you can see the gold effect. So in this painting, I learned how to give the gold effect in the jewelry and stuff on the sari and everything. So Venka, these are my paintings for now.
No, I am so proud of like the kind of work that you've shown, because I feel like it's so peaceful, you know, like when I see your work, I feel like it's so neatly done and it's so like peacefully put together, you know. And I feel like, you know, I want to ask you a few questions about your art. Like, you know, how does art make you feel like when you paint and you take this time out to paint?
So it actually like art makes me feel calm and stuff. So whenever I'm like stressed out or anything after coming from school or anything, I usually go to my art class and stay for 2 hours and do my art, and I come back home.
Yeah. So that's beautiful. I think we all should take some time out from our day to just be creative in whichever way that is, right? And I think art
Yeah.
is so therapeutic. And like, do you have a particular style or a material that you like doing?
No, I like to do all the art forms. I like to explore those. Like I want to know like what will happen if you do with this art form, what will create or anything. So I usually do with all art forms.
Yeah, and it's very nice how you've done like the clay art as well, and you've done like the poster paints. You've done the, you know, the charcoal. I really like the charcoal piece because I feel like it's very well shaded, and it just
And
gives
that
you
was
that.
even my first charcoal painting
Yeah,
during
it's
this
very,
lockdown.
because I feel like it's, you know, when you see the painting, just feel very, you feel like it's monsoon. I think that's very important when you give a feel of a painting to somebody. When they feel something, I think the art has reached the audience, you know. And like, how long do you usually take to make your paintings and stuff like that?
So if I like those paintings, if I like to actually do this, I usually do it very fast. Or if I don't have the mood to do or anything, if I don't like that art form, if it doesn't come properly, I actually take a lot of time and then I come back. If my mood is actually okay, then I actually sit on it and I actually finish it.
Yeah,
So it
that's
might take
beautiful.
1 to 3 weeks, or it even take 1 month or anything.
Yeah.
So do you have any other questions for me, Venkat?
Yeah, those were the kind of questions that I had. I also wanted to know like what inspires you, like, you know, in your artwork, like what do you usually think about before you start a piece and while you're making that piece? Do you have like a photograph, or do you just paint from, you know, another picture? Or...
I actually see a picture and paint or do, but I actually select a picture before because something like if I want to do this kind of style, I actually think in my mind. So after that, I start searching for pictures like okay, this kind of style is okay. Then I start searching and I select a picture whichever is nice. Then I start doing on it.
Yeah, that's nice.
So Venkat, during this lockdown, the drawing and painting helped me to calm myself down. And whenever I was stressed or anything, it made me relax myself. So how did lockdown help you during this? Like how did art help you during this lockdown?
I feel like art helps me in literally everything. It helps me to cope with the world, as I've said before. But I feel like, you know, I think lockdown was great for me because I think as a creative person, we always keep thinking, you know, I wish I had more time to do something. Then I would sit and do this. I would sit and create this and that. So I think like, you know, I made quite a few paintings actually in lockdown. I started, I think, 3 murals, and I also started like 3, 4 paintings on canvas, which was very nice. And I think like, you know, I wrote like about 8 poems this quarantine, which is very important for me because I think, you know, to write something, you have to be in the right frame of mind. You have to be cut off from the external world. So I think like I was able to do that this time, and I was very happy that I didn't procrastinate and actually did that. And I also feel like, you know, I worked on my body, my health. You know, I was like trying to be healthy every day with what I was eating, what I was putting into my body, and trying to be positive. I think it's so important to be positive during these times because, you know, every day you open Instagram or you open, you know, the internet or WhatsApp, you flooded with such horrible news every day. Like in any particular field or any particular issue, there's 100 wrong things, bad things, sad things happening. So I think it's so important to concentrate on your mental health, like, you know, think positive thoughts, do your best in everything that you do. So I think even the fact that I am peaceful is something that I credit myself every day for being in quarantine, you know. And I think just like, putting my work out there, like on Instagram, like putting all my different means of, mediums of my art and my stuff, just putting it out there also is very important. So I was able to do that during this lockdown, which I'm very grateful for.
So did you even do any web series during this lockdown?
So for the web series part, look, obviously production was not able to, we were not able to produce much during this because, of all the, social distancing and stuff like that. But what was interesting is that we're developing some scripts, we're able to use this time to work on some stories, which is very important. And also that's also a creative process where, you don't really have a time limit. You sort of have to give enough time to developing a story and different characters, right? Like I love that whole process where we sort of develop new characters and we give different angles. And I think what is beautiful is like, back in the day, used to see one person was a good person, one person was a bad person. And I think, now that we're learning to accept people in different memes, right? We're able to see that, okay, there are different shades to a personality. That there is, people can be good and also have some negative traits. They can also have some, different sort of traits. Even a bad person has some beautiful aspects about them. There are some insecurities that, make them act in a certain way. So I think we're able to develop all these and to give them, to create the psychology of the characters. And we're able to use this time in that way.
Yes, Venkat. I think it's almost time, Venkat. So now the audience can ask any questions for Venkat. You can write them in the chat box. Venkat, audience are asking for your Instagram handle.
Instagram handle. Okay, I'll just type it out here so that everyone can.
Venkat, can you even read a poem for us? A short poem?
Okay, let me just look for something. I'm going to try to search for something that I've written. Okay, I have a short one. I'll just read it out, and maybe it can sort of express what I want to try to say here. I am not here to be understood. I'm here to exist in my entirety, in and embracing the way I want to be accepted as. Not just bud, the full bloom. I'm not here just to settle what's served to me. If I want a sweet chili paste that will take me 27 years and 82 days, I vehemently shall wait, but not settle for anything less. Nor shall I drop my prerequisites for the love I think I deserve. I am not here waiting or seeking permission to love or to be loved. I am here.
Wow, Venkat. Venkat, Mayuka is asking, like, did you ever give up in the middle when you're painting or anything?
Yeah, I think when I was growing up, I, made a lot of paintings that I just trashed. Like I just started, like, especially because canvas is such a different medium when we're children, right? Like it's such a permanent, you feel like if you make something, you can't really rectify it. So I made a lot of pieces that I look at, I'm like, oh, I just wasted so much paint and canvas and, so many ideas that didn't really materialize. But I think that's also a part of learning where you're just like, okay, it's fine. This was a learning lesson. And now when, I try to make the best use of anything, I try not to waste paint. I try not to waste canvas. And at least try to think of it that way to encourage me to finish a particular painting or an artwork.
Yes, Venkat. Can you sing a song, Venkat, before you close the session?
Yeah, let me just think of something that I want to say. और मनवा तू तो बावरा है, तू ही जाने तू क्या सोचता है, तू ही जाने तू क्या सोचता है बावरे, क्यों दिखाए सपने तू सोते जागते, जो बरसे सपने बूंदे बूंदे नैनों को मूंदे मूंदे, जो बरसे सपने बूंदे बूंदे नैनों को मूंदे मूंदे, कैसे मैं चलूं देख ना सकूं अनजाने रास्ते, गूंज सा
Wow,
है
Venkat,
कोई
it's
एक
amazing.
तारा, गूंज सा है कोई एक तारा, गूंज सा है कोई एक तारा, गूंज सा है कोई एक तारा, धीमे बोले कोई एक तारा, धीमे बोले कोई एक तारा, गूंज सा है कोई एक तारा, गूंज सा है कोई एक तारा.
Wow, Venkat, it's amazing. This, I think your voice is also so beautiful.
Thank you. And thank you to everyone who joined this call, and thank you for all the amazing compliments and just the appreciation and the words that you guys have showered on both Hansika and me. It's so nice to see people just being kind and being compassionate and just sharing beautiful words. I think the world needs more of that. So please continue to do that to yourself and the people around you.
Yeah. Thank you everyone for joining for this evening with us. So, Venkatesh sir, can you show the slide? Yeah. So next week again we're starting with a conversation with Mayuka and Janvi, a mountaineer who is in who has done 16 expedition. Please don't forget to join us for next week at 6 p.m. on Monday. And we also thank Yuga Life for giving us this opportunity. Yuga Life is a place-based organization. They believe that play is not just an activity but a state of mind. They work with adults, children to build up meaningful communities through play. Thank you everyone for joining us. Thank you, Venkat, for joining us.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Hansika. It was great talking to you.